After they battle a blaze in Joplin.
And we've got a few scattered storms out there this morning, a few scattered storms possible through the day. We'll have the latest on that forecast, get you out the door coming up.
Plus, a small town hopes to bring its community together with its first Makers Market.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Well, good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5 a.m. I'm Elise Noe.
And I'm Chris Warner. It's Monday again, Monday after the holiday. A lot of folks heading back to work today. After a nice long weekend, had some scattered showers and storms here and there, but it's not been too terribly bad out there.
Not at all. It's pretty pleasant, not too humid either.
Yeah, it's been, it's been hot, but it's not been as miserable as it has been lately. So, and we've got more rain chances on the way, and of course we've got Hurricane Beryl making landfall again now into the southeast Texas coast. And it will play a small role in our forecast as we head into our Tuesday. We'll get into details on that in just a moment, but first, let's start with a look outside from our camera on top of the Cornell Complex, downtown Joplin. So to this way, you can see a few clouds. If you look close enough, you see that daylight, and you can see that there's a few clouds out there. Looking all right from our camera at 7th and range line as well. And as we take a look at the MoDOT camera 32nd and range line, we've been watching some lightning off in the distance down to the south of Joplin, associated with some of these scattered showers and storms that are almost riding right along and south of I-44. Nothing severe, nothing awful, but some good rainfall, Mount Vernon, Monette, and quite a bit of lightning around the Cassville area. So if you are out there, make sure you're just being safe with that potential, that lightning potential. And these storms have been just kind of developing, firing, rolling off to the north and east, and we could see some additional scattered showers and thunderstorms as we go through the day today. As you can see, they're going to be relatively isolated, not terribly widespread, but nonetheless, some scattered showers and storms will be possible out there today. And we're not anticipating any severe weather either, which is good news. A little cooler northwest into the mid 60s. You go a little further south, get into the upper 60s and low 70s. We're going to warm up a bit today with scattered storms out there. Temperatures right around the mid 80s and a light breeze out there as well. So nothing too crazy at all by any means, which is nice. Some much needed rain. No severe weather expected with it, and not too terribly hot either. Again, Hurricane Beryl making landfall will have a small impact on our weather in the next 24 hours. Break down all those details in the full forecast here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right, Chris, thanks. Well, an update on a fatal hit and run that occurred around 7 p.m. Friday night near Loma Linda. Missouri Highway Patrol issued a BOLO, or be on the lookout, Friday night for a Dodge Dakota pickup truck. A public tip came in that allowed troopers to locate and arrest 35-year-old Richard Taylor of Racine, Missouri, and seize the truck as evidence. This is exclusive footage of the authorities seizing the truck. The woman he struck has been identified as Sheldana Wood. She was 60 years old. Well, arrest reports from the Missouri State Highway Patrol show that Michael T. Denny was arrested on July 5th for driving while intoxicated. The 51-year-old serves as the fire chief for the Nevada Fire Department and the emergency management director for the city of Nevada. The fire chief was reportedly responding to an active fire scene, driving a city of Nevada vehicle. He was transported to the police department, cited for a DWI, then released. Well, first responders is spending their Saturday morning containing a fire at Missouri Metal Recycling. Webb City Fire, Police, and EMS all responding Saturday morning, with both the Dunaweg and Carl Junction Fire Departments responding as mutual aid. Reports say that heavy black smoke was visible from all over town, and firefighters battled the fire for 6 hours until it was contained. Well, 2 firefighters have been injured after battling a blaze in Joplin yesterday. Reports came in around 2 p.m. afternoon, and the fire department reported that smoke was visible from Station 1. Heavy smoke and flames were said to be coming from the second floor of the residence, and the house being reported as uninhabited. One firefighter was treated on scene for heat exhaustion, another after a railing he was holding broke, causing him to fall. And to be the first to see breaking news, weather, and sports, you can download the KOAM News app. It's available free of charge in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. Just search for the KOAM News app. Local farmers and markets are a popular place in the summer for community members to come together and shop locally, supporting each other's businesses. KOAM's Samantha Walker has more on one small town working to support a local makers market.
With a population of around 2,100 people, Cherryville, Kansas is by most definitions a small town. But although it may be small, its community is close.
We know everything about everybody. I like a rural community.
In a small gravel church parking lot, the community is coming together, hosting its first Cherryville Makers Market. Its organizer, Elena McPherson, came up with the idea when one of her small businesses hit a block.
We wanted to do a U-pick flower patch, but it kind of just didn't work out this year, and I grew a lot of flowers. So I started going to the Independence Farmers Market, and I figured why not bring it to my own town.
Elena reached out to other locals to see if they would be interested in joining her for a community market, where there are no fees and you can simply set up a table.
We have 7 vendors, and I know that probably doesn't seem like a lot, but for a town this size, I think it's pretty good for the first time.
Booths have a range of goods, including jewelry, flowers, and produce, fresh lemonade, and baked goods.
Give her the money and I'll take a picture with you. Thank you.
Community members were excited to support the market, coming out with their children and even pets.
It's awesome. Someone once said if you build it, they will come, and I definitely see that in all the activities that I try to get going here.
For vendors at the market, they say it's meaningful to see community members come out to support each other like this.
It's very heartwarming to see that it's stepping back up to where it was when I was a kid. I got involved more in the community because I wanted it to be a better place for my daughter. When I grew up, this was my favorite place to be, so I wanted to invest as much time as I could into this town. So it's very heartwarming to see people invest as well.
With support from the community, several vendors sold out at the Makers Market. For those involved, it's a sign of the potential the small market has.
I think this is a great idea. I think anything that brings people together is amazing. We try to do little small events and eventually they become big, so I think this will be another big one for our town.
Reporting in Cherryville, Samantha Walker, KOAM News.
Saturday was the first Makers Market, and after seeing the community's response, organizers say they hope to make it a monthly event. And that's a look at this morning's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes, coming up on the KOAM Morning News. The Joplin Outlaws cap off the weekend with a series finale against Abilene. Plus, Pope Francis visits the northern Italian city of Trieste to commemorate the 50th Social Week of Italian Catholics. And we have a warm and cloudy day today. We'll have what to expect with Chris Warner in the Skywatch Weather Center. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back.
The Joplin Outlaws entered this Sunday on a 4-game losing streak. Joplin looks to avoid the sweep, playing in the series finale against Abilene. Joplin's only won 2 of their last 7 home games entering the night as they face the Abilene Flying Bison. Early on in the game, Lucas Van Landuit out of Pitt State picks up a couple of early strikeouts. Abilene led 1-0 after the first 2 innings of the game. We go to the 3rd inning. Jack Q elevates this baseball over the fence, and it leaves the yard for a 3-run home run. Abilene jumps out to a 4-0 lead to start the game. In the bottom of the 3rd, the Outlaws start to battle back. Local kid Brett Serwinski hits one deep to center field. It's caught for the out. However, a run does come in to score for a sacrifice fly. Joplin gets on the board, now 4-1 ball game. The 4th inning, Missouri Southern baseball fans recognize this name. Will Doherty smashes this one, and it lands in the bleachers for a 2-run homer. But the bats cooled off after that. Abilene goes on to flex their muscles and beats down Joplin 16-4. The MLB All-Star Game begins next week. On Sunday, the full All-Star rosters were released with a handful of St. Louis Cardinals and Kansas City Royals players heading to Arlington. So here's a look at the latest MLB All-Star reserves from the Royals and Cardinals. Kansas City sends 4 players to this year's All-Star Game. Starting pitchers Seth Lugo and Cole Reagans were each selected to their first All-Star Game. Bobby Witt Jr. and Salvador Perez will join them as they were selected as position players. Then the only player representing the St. Louis Cardinals in the All-Star Game this year will be relief pitcher Ryan Helsey. Cardinals versus Nationals in Washington, D.C. Game is tied 2-2 in the fourth inning. Nolan Gorman hits an RBI single to give the Cardinals a 3-2 lead. So we go to the bottom of the fourth and take a look at this play by Mason Wen. A beautiful flip of the glove turns into a 6-4-3 double play. Check out the replay. Defensive stop keeps St. Louis in the lead. Cardinals led 4-2 in the top of the fifth. Ducks on the pond for Nolan Arenado, and he brings them home with a 2-out RBI single. Both runs come in to score. St. Louis leads 6-2. To the seventh inning, Wilson Contreras has been on a heater in this series, and he stays hot. This ball is gone. Cardinals go on to beat the Nationals 8-3, the final score. Out west in Denver, Royals versus Rockies. Michael Garcia uses the thin air to his advantage, and that one is gone for a homer. Royals lead 4-0 in the second inning. So we head to the top of the seventh. MJ Melendez is going to hit one deep, and it's a mile-high solo home run. Puts the Royals in front 5-0. Kansas City leads 7-1 in the ninth. Bobby Witt Jr. hooks this ball fair past the pole. It's a 3-run Bobby bomb. Royals beat the Rockies 10-1. Still to come, new research indicates there are significant health benefits to eating less bacon. Plus, we got another check of that forecast when the KOAM Morning News returns. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News, 5:17 on this Monday morning. We've got a few scattered showers and thunderstorms out there this morning. Nothing strong or severe, but they have been producing quite a bit of lightning, and so you still want to be careful out there with all that lightning. Rain showers stretching Mount Vernon, Monette, thunderstorm down by Cassville, and we've got another one over by Grove near Grand Lake. Otherwise, we're going to be keeping an eye on this. This is Hurricane Beryl making landfall right now in southern Texas. You can see the eye coming on shore. Houston getting ready to get into the thick of the rain up there as well. And eventually, Beryl will have a small impact on our weather over the next 24 hours. For today, though, we're going to be partly cloudy to mostly cloudy, and we're going to have scattered showers and storms across the area. And as Beryl continues to lift off to the north and east, what's going to ultimately happen is we're going to get on the flip side of some of those rain bands heading into our Tuesday. So initially, this thunderstorm activity not associated with Beryl at all. But by Tuesday morning, the main portion of Beryl will stay off to our south and east, where they've got flood watches to our east, where they could see some pretty excessive amounts of rain. We're just going to be on the very far northwestern edge of Beryl throughout the first half of our Tuesday. So that's why this rain shield kind of maintains this shape with those wind arrows out there. And by Tuesday evening, we'll have a few lingering bands of maybe some showers and storms before that eventually begins to clear out as well. Now, the good news is, again, we're not expecting anything strong or severe, but Beryl, again, will have at least a small impact on our weather. So right now, Beryl is still a Category 1 storm. Winds are about 80 miles an hour. And as it continues, the center of circulation will pass just on the west side of Houston and eventually will make it near Little Rock by about 1 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. So that's where we're going to get in on, again, just the far edges of those bands from Beryl by tomorrow afternoon. In Joplin right now, we've got a mix of clouds, 71. The winds are calm out there. We've been watching lightning off and on our tower cams off to the south, but no rain in the Joplin area as of yet. A little cooler off to the north and west, mid-60s. And then as you get a little further south and east, upper 60s and some low 70s. So a fairly decent start to the day. As we get our morning started, we are going to realize that I have not updated any of these graphics beyond the first few this morning. as I look at that, I realize I did not actually save the update. So we're going to spend a second or two here. All right, so mid-80s today for our highs. We'll have those scattered showers and thunderstorms across the area. We'll have scattered showers Tuesday, and as you saw with Beryl and the track, it's going to be in the eastern half of our area where the best chances of rain will be, and that'll also keep some of us a little cooler out there. Then we'll start to warm up as we head into the weekend. Unfortunately, as you can see, we start getting into that dangerous heat as we go in the low, mid, and upper 90s, and by next week, we've got ample sunshine with highs pushing close to 100 degrees. So enjoy this break in the heat while we have it, because it won't last forever. That's Check Your Forecast. We'll be back with more right after this.
Well, topping Health Watch this morning. Some liquid egg products used in breakfast or in quiches or baked goods have been recalled due to misbranding and containing allergens. Michael Food Incorporated, which makes Fairmeadow Foundation's whole eggs with citric acid, says about 4,620 pounds of the products are being called back. The products were mislabeled, and cartons of whole eggs with citric acid actually contained a different product, a breakfast blend scrambled egg, which contains undeclared milk. The products are in 32-ounce cartons, and no illnesses have been reported from the mislabeled products. The USDA says consumers and restaurants should throw them away or return them to the place of purchase. Well, new research indicates there are significant health benefits to eating less bacon. Scientists say if Americans cut back their consumption of just 10 slices of bacon each week, it would substantially reduce the number of deaths from cardiovascular disease, type 2 diabetes, and colorectal cancer. This study is published in the journal Lancet Planetary Health. Researchers from the University of Edinburgh in Scotland and the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill found reducing processed meat consumption by about a third, the equivalent of around 10 slices of bacon a week, could prevent more than 350,000 cases of diabetes in the U.S. over a decade. And they say it could also reduce the number of cases of cardiovascular disease by more than 92,000 and the number of colorectal cancer cases by more than 53,000. It's the most diagnosed gynecologic cancer in the world, in the U.S. rather. Despite advances in cancer research and treatments, death rates for endometrial or uterine cancer continue to rise. Mandy Gaither has the signs to watch out for and the fight one family is waging after losing a loved one.
She was the most outgoing, caring person in the world.
In September 2020, at the age of 63, Sherlyn Webb was diagnosed with uterine cancer, but was told the disease had been caught early.
We thought that it wasn't going to be that bad.
But during treatment, Webb's son says things went downhill. There were therapeutic complications. Less than a year later, Webb died.
For us, it crushed us.
Webb is not alone. Black women are more than twice as likely to die from uterine cancer compared to other racial groups, according to the National Cancer Institute. Researchers at the Ohio State University Comprehensive Cancer Center are trying to figure out why.
Uterine cancer is the only cancer over the last 4 decades that has actually had decreasing survival rates.
Dr. Casey Cosgrove and his team are hoping to develop targeted treatments to improve survival, but he says women should be aware of the signs, which can include abnormal uterine bleeding, pelvic pain or discomfort, vaginal discharge, changes in bladder or bowel habits, abdominal bloating or fullness, and a persistent cough. All these symptoms should prompt a talk with your doctor.
So that if appropriate, some additional testing like ultrasound and or biopsies might be performed to make sure that there's not something that's going on.
Webb's family is now working to make everyone aware of this disease and its disparities.
There's no better way to honor her than to help others.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
And Dr. Cosgrove says obesity, polycystic ovarian syndrome, diabetes, high blood pressure, and irregular ovulation are known risk factors for uterine cancer. And that's a look at some of today's top health stories. You're watching the KOAM Morning News.
And we've got a few scattered showers and storms out there this morning. We'll have a few more as we head through the day. We'll have another look at that forecast to get you out the door when we come back.
Right now at 5:30, the city of Granby hosted its 41st annual Old Mining Town celebration.
There's a few scattered showers and storms out there this morning, a few more possible as we head into the afternoon. While we look at that forecast, get you out the door coming up.
Plus, Brush Creek Golf Course in Columbus holds a tournament to raise money for Freedom Fest 2025.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's just coming up on 5:30. I'm Elise Snowy.
And I'm Chris Warner. It's Monday. It is July the 8th, and a lot of folks heading back to work today.
Yes. It was, for most of you, it was probably a four-day weekend.
Yeah. For a lot of folks, probably 4, maybe even 5-day weekend, depending on how if your bosses are really cool like that. Or maybe it's just that's how it works out in your line of work. It's easier to go ahead and take the day off before the 4th too, because I don't want to get halfway into a project, So hopefully you all had a safe and happy 4th of July out there. And hopefully you're ready for some additional much needed rainfall across the area, because it's starting to roll in, and even Hurricane Beryl going to play a small role in our forecast in the next 24 hours. Let's start with a look outside from our camera at 7th and Range Line in Joplin. Got a few clouds out there. Again, earlier this morning, we've been watching some lightning with some showers and thunderstorms off to our south, but nothing too crazy out there, which is good news too. We don't need any severe weather. We just need some rain, and that's the way it's going to be over the next couple of days. MoDOT camera 32nd and Range Line, not a bad start. So there's those showers and some thunderstorms, but as I mentioned, nothing strong, nothing severe. We had quite a bit of lightning with this cell near Cassville. It's kind of eased up. That's been, I think, the biggest thing is these things have been fairly electrical out there, so do be careful. Lightning, of course, dangerous whether the storm is severe or not. The lightning itself is dangerous. As we end the afternoon into the evening, we'll see a few more scattered showers and thunderstorms across the area, so not rain everywhere all at once, but rain nonetheless that we definitely need as we head into the afternoon and evening. Mid-upper 60s to the northwest, upper 60s, low 70s, a little further to the south and east across the area. Looking at highs right around the mid-80s, so reasonable out there. Mostly cloudy skies otherwise, and of course those scattered shower and thunderstorm chances through the day. As mentioned, Beryl plays a small role in our forecast as we head into our Tuesday. We'll take a look at all the details on that here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right, we'll see you soon. The 3rd annual Freedom Fest went on in Columbus Saturday. Activities citizens could enjoy included turtle races, sack races, door prizes, and even a helicopter tour. The fire department even made hot dogs for the attendees. All proceeds generated by the event will go to funding the Columbus Fire Department.
When I was a kid, watching our community come together was one of my most memorable things. So just being able to see small town America alive again and just seeing everybody running around having fun. We have a lot of local businesses in town that help sponsor this event, so almost everything here is free for the kids.
The event ended with a fireworks show. Brush Creek Golf and Grill hosted the 2nd annual Freedom Fest golf tournament. The tournament, which is put on by the Columbus Fire Department, is a 2-person scramble tournament consisting of 18 holes, and each participant is granted 1 mulligan for the entire tournament.
Well, to be honest with you, I've never golfed. Today's my first day. I just wanted to get out and be in the community, so I'm here to play, and so we'll see what happens.
We just have about 32 teams signed up this morning to do a golf scramble. It's a jump start to the fundraiser for our Freedom Fest fireworks show for 2025.
Awards were given out for closest to the pin and 1st and 2nd overall. The city of Granby hosted its 41st annual Old Mining Town celebration. One of the events is a pop-up market which showcases local businesses from across the region. Items for sale include freeze-dried candy, crocheted animals, tumblers, and more. All proceeds from the registration fees of the vendors goes to the Grow Granby Foundation.
Well, we've got good weather, see a lot of different people, and hope everybody has a good time.
We are better as a community. We support each other. I've seen tons of vendors walk around and support other vendors, and that makes me happy.
Over 50 vendors registered for the market. Well, another old mining town tradition is the parade. Some things on display during the parade included a train that was converted into a float, antique vehicles, tractors, and more. Local public servants were also invited to participate in the parade.
It's watching the families come down and partake and have a good time and meet with their friends that they haven't seen for a while. It's bringing our community together is the best part of this event.
The parade was put on by the Granby Fire Department. And that's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. In France, leftist party leader is calling on the president to step down or choose a new prime minister. Plus, a team from Virginia competed in the world's largest student rocket building competition. We'll have the latest. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. Topping World Watch. In France, leftist party leader Jean-Luc Mélenchon is calling on French President Emmanuel Macron to step down or choose a new prime minister from the ranks of Mélenchon's new Popular Front coalition. Polling projections indicate the coalition of left-wing forces, which came together to try to keep the far right from power, has won the most parliamentary seats in runoff elections. But the leftists fell short of an outright majority. Mélenchon is the most prominent of the leftist leaders of the new Popular Front. The group projected to become the biggest bloc in parliament. Macron's centrist alliance is next, and the far right is in third place. No bloc has a majority of parliament seats. The new alignment of political powers is expected to undercut Macron for the remaining 3 years of his presidency. Pope Francis visits the northern Italian city of Trieste to commemorate the 50th Social Week of Italian Catholics. This year's theme is democracy in crisis, and he's warning that world democracy is not in good health. The pontiff expressing his concerns about making participation in the democratic process more accessible to all people. He went on to say he was worried about the small amount of people who have voted. The Pope later celebrating Mass and reciting the Angelus prayer. He says Trieste plays a special role in welcoming migrants, and the city should use the gospel and the Constitution as a guide to face the challenge. A team from Virginia competed in the world's largest student rocket building competition, sponsored by the Defense Department's NASA and the FAA. The particular group of students is used to beating the odds. Their families migrated to America from Afghanistan, Ukraine, Azerbaijan, Ethiopia, and Turkey. Many did not speak English when they arrived. Now they're flying high. Jennifer Griffin has their story.
An hour outside the nation's capital, teams of middle school students reach for the stars, competing in the American Rocketry Challenge. Their mission, along with the top 100 finalists assembled from across the nation, to launch a rocket carrying an egg high into the air, and for the egg to survive. 3, 2, 1, go! What makes this team from Francis Hammond Middle School in Alexandria, Virginia, different, it's made up of new immigrants, not yet American citizens, children who fled their homes in Afghanistan and Ukraine. 12-year-old Artem came to the U.S. from Ukraine after Russia invaded 2 years ago. Now, while his countrymen use drones and rockets to stave off the Russian military, Artem is designing rockets outside Washington, D.C.
When we need to put the motor in, the motor didn't fit, so we need to make the space bigger, and I was doing all that.
13-year-old Farhan fled Afghanistan with his family 3 years ago during the chaotic U.S. withdrawal when the Taliban took control. Now he is focused on physics.
We did pretty good, and I'm really happy that we made it all the way till here. I'm proud of us, and my team has accomplished a lot.
Farhan's father worked for the U.S. government for years. As Kabul fell, he scrambled to the airport with his family, a 2-day-long journey in the scorching heat, repeatedly beaten by the Taliban. When they reached Abbey Gate, a U.S. Marine on the perimeter recognized Farhan's father and ushered his family into the airport. Farhan's family made it to safety on a U.S. military plane. Now Farhan says he wants to grow up to be a pilot.
Our country has been taken over, and it wasn't safe anymore.
Yostra also fled Afghanistan with her family in August 2021. Now she is also studying and building rockets. She wants to be a lawyer when she grows up and work for the U.S. government.
It feels like I'm free. I wouldn't be able to dare even speak English, not even go to school. So it feels nice to I feel proud.
Babar also arrived in the U.S. from Afghanistan 3 years ago. His father worked as an interpreter for the U.S. military.
I'm thankful because I'm independent and I have a lot of opportunities to do here. Programs like right now, Rocketeer Club.
On hand to observe the students' success was NASA astronaut Woody Hoberg, who represented his Pittsburgh high school at the same competition in 2003.
I'm really passionate about students being able to get their hands dirty and build things, experiment, maybe fail once in a while, find out that flights don't go perfectly.
After a successful launch, the team's rocket landed in a bush on descent. The students anxiously waited to see if their egg survived. It did. The team, made up of Afghan and Ukrainian immigrant students from Francis Hammond Middle School, came in 50th place. Technically, they didn't win the competition, but for all of them, just getting to America means they've already won.
And that's a look at some of your biggest headlines from around the world. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. It is 5:45 now on this Monday morning, and still a few isolated showers and storms south of I-44. So getting ready to roll back into Monette, kind of going right up 60 out there to the northeast of Cassville, and a few showers backed into northeastern Oklahoma, northeast of Grove. However, well off to our south is Hurricane Beryl making landfall now into Texas, and the center of circulation is looking to pass just on the west side of Houston, and eventually Beryl will have a small role in our forecast over the next 24 hours. So through today, we'll have isolated to widely scattered showers and thunderstorms. The good news is we're not expecting anything severe out there, not even really expecting any strong storms, just some much needed rainfall as we head through the afternoon and into the evening hours across the area. And then as we head into our Tuesday, well, that's when Beryl gets a little closer. Now, the main point of circulation for Beryl is going to stay well to our south and east, down toward Little Rock. But as we go through Tuesday, it's going to get just close enough that at least some of us are going to be on the far western edges of that center of circulation, get a few additional showers out there. And we could see a few other bands of showers and thunderstorms develop as that main point continues to lift off to the north into the east. And then we'll dry out and we'll start to warm up after we get through today. So enjoy today, tomorrow. I know it's going to be a bit soggy out there, but it's really going to get hot. So here's Beryl as it stands right now. So still looking at a Category 1 hurricane, winds still at 80 miles an hour, just officially making landfall. It will begin to travel just west of Houston, and then it'll be shifted off to the north and east. So again, the center of circulation, once it reaches depression status, will be right around Little Rock. So we'll be just on the far edges of that, which is why just the far edges of our area will end up getting some of the extended shower chances into our Tuesday. All right, 71 in Joplin. The winds are calm right now. We've got a few clouds here and there. A little cooler up by, say, Yates Center, Iola, Neodesha, it's 66, and across the rest of the area, upper 60s, low 70s. Not a bad start to the day whatsoever. I got this fixed from earlier. If you were joining us earlier, I, for whatever reason, just completely neglected updating these. So this is what we're looking at, about 80 by 11. Isolated showers initially, and we'll start to see a few more scattered showers and thunderstorms. And again, these will be isolated to widely scattered showers and storms. So some of you may remain dry today, or at least may see some of the rain down by your neighbors. Mid 80s for our highs today. Heading to the evening, again, scattered showers, maybe a thunderstorm or two, nothing severe. And we'll eventually fall back into the upper 60s for our overnight lows. And thanks to the showers and Beryl and everything else, we're going to stay still cool tomorrow, low 80s. I mean, it's warm, but cooler than where we should be. But it doesn't last. We head into the weekend, the start of next week, it's going to start to be uncomfortable. Sunny skies as far as the eye can see. Temperatures climbing close to 100 as we head into the weekend. And to check your forecast, we're back with more right after this.
The day after July 4th festivities, hundreds of volunteers gathered to clean up trash and debris left behind on Lake Tahoe's beaches. As Marcela de la Cruz reports, there was less mess to pick up this year.
It's July 5th, and in South Lake Tahoe,
dog poop left in the bag.
Many geared up with gloves, bags, and grabbers for the largest cleanup day of the year.
If you walk around, you don't see signs of a big party or a lot of people just throwing junk or trash around. So, I don't know, I think everyone's just paying attention and taking care of the community that they enjoy going to.
Ethan, you ready? With more than 400 volunteers at 6 public beaches and 1 private one.
So far from what we've seen, lots of volunteers and not a lot of trash, which is what we want to see at Lake Tahoe.
Crews leading the cleanup were pleasantly surprised.
Last year was definitely an outlier. We had one beach with 6,000 pounds, and that was just the most by far. Typically, over the last decade of doing these, we've averaged somewhere between 1,500 and 2,000 pounds per year at all the sites combined.
Organizers believe that some of the reasons why they're seeing less trash this year is due to increased awareness to keep the beaches blue and an alcohol ban at some of the beaches during this holiday. Volunteers include a team in the water to expand the cleanup as they try to keep Tahoe blue.
Even though the poundage might be less, we're still finding a lot of small pieces, and that small trash is just as impactful, like I said, because once it's in the lake, it's going to stay there, and nobody wants to see plastic and trash in our lake.
In South Lake Tahoe, Maricela de la Cruz, KCRA 3 News.
A Virginia woman has rescued a cat that is perfectly imperfect. The woman was going on vacation when she saw the advertisement for the blind cat. Gabby Womack shares what makes this particular adoption so special.
Being the superintendent of the Virginia School for the Deaf and the Blind, I'm very familiar with working with individuals who are blind, with children who are blind. And I thought, maybe this is a cat I should adopt.
Meet Calico Cat, Rosie.
Her eyes were just shut, so it's not like she's got eyes, they are literally not there.
Pat Trice is the superintendent for VSDB. Rosie had a severe infection in both eyes, which led to eye removal.
She is very, very sensitive to new sounds. So it scared her when she had to walk through the kitchen the first time and the dishwasher was on. She did not know what that was. It's going to take her a while to get used to that.
Even though Rosie can't see, she's still very smart. She uses her hearing to get around.
And her senses are extremely heightened. I mean, sometimes I wonder if she does have eyes that she's hiding, because she will follow sound, she hears everything, she senses where things are.
And for those who have never had a rescue, Trice said it's well worth it.
Rescues do a fabulous job, and so many animals are there that need homes, so please consider. And if they have a disability, there are plenty of people who can help you with that disability, and they make beautiful pets.
Well, it goes without saying that special needs pets can provide their humans with so much love and joy. But experts say it's important to do your homework before welcoming one into your home like you would with any kind of pet. We'll be right back after this. Ruins of an ancient temple have been unearthed in Peru. Archaeologists say they discovered the ruins of what appears to be a 4,000-year-old ceremonial temple buried in a sand dune in northern Peru. They say one of the walls has a drawing of a human body and a bird's head, a mythological figure from religious beliefs of that time. The skeletal human remains of 3 adults were also found, which experts say may have been offerings for religious rituals. An archaeologist on the dig says remains of what might have been another temple were found in another excavation nearby. This one belonging to the late Ochi culture, which arose about 1,400 years ago across the country's northern coast. Now it's that time of every year when a sporting event becomes the best reason to buy health insurance, both hospitalization and mental health. Hundreds of revelers tried to sprint down the streets of Pamplona, Spain Sunday, in the first of 8 running of the bulls trying to demonstrate El Valor. Just steps ahead of 6 rushing fighting bulls with horns who don't wait for revelers to come to their senses or pay their insurance premiums. Medical reports say there were 6 injuries, one from a bull's Goring, and the narrow race down Pamplona's Old Quarter covers about half a mile and is part of Spain's annual San Fermin Festival in honor of patron saint.
We've got a chance for some scattered showers and thunderstorms out there today. Already seen a few of those isolated storms this morning south of I-44. Nothing strong or severe expected out there. Got mostly cloudy skies otherwise. Will be about 80 by 11 o'clock. We'll continue with isolated to widely scattered showers and thunderstorms throughout today, tonight, and honestly into tomorrow as well. Highs around the mid-80s. Not everyone necessarily will see rain, but I think most of us have a fairly decent shot of picking up some much-needed rain. Scattered showers and storms continue through the evening into the overnight. We'll fall back into the upper 60s. And then the remnants of Beryl will be the center of circulation. Will be well off to our south and east near Little Rock. But some of those western bands could reach into the area, bringing a few more scattered showers, maybe a couple of storms. After that, though, the heat returns and we start going back up near 100 with sunny skies as we head into the weekend. That's Check Your Forecast. We're back with more right after this.